Radio Rahim with Danny Jacobs. I like to call you Daniel Jacobs because you are quite a dapper gentleman ringside and an elegant speaker, but a hell of a fighter. And you have an opportunity ahead of you to face Canelo that you earned the hard way. Yeah. And that you have to respect that. Did you know that this would come now? I mean, I don't think that anybody really thought, to be honest with you, that you would get this fight on that date. When did you realize that this was a real thing and you were going to have the Cinco de Mayo date with Canelo and a shot at all those belts?
Until the contracts were actually signed, I didn't feel like the fight was going to happen. And knowing of the negotiations and all the periods of the part that people really don't get a chance to see that goes on behind boxing is very stressful. But for me, I really didn't think it was going to happen until I signed it. And the day that I signed it, it was a celebration for me. I mean, I called my family, we all celebrated, and now it was time to go to work, you know?
Yeah, I imagine the celebration had to be exuberant, but the work had to start immediately. You've been showing a lot of grit, good performances in there, but Canelo's an elite fighter. He may be and probably is of a much better class even than the excellent fighters you've been facing. Do you have to step up now and perform better? Do you feel like there are things that need to be added to your arsenal or your performance to beat Canelo?
Well, I think true champions adjust, and we don't know the type of Canelo that's going to show up against myself that night. You know, I'm a fighter that he's never faced before. I bring a different arsenal than the guys that he's fought in the past. So yeah, I have stepping up to do, but I also feel like he's going to have a lot to step up as well, and we're both going to have to adjust. But I think that's what goes for a great fight. You know, both guys trying to figure it out, but still having an action-packed back and forth style. It goes for a great fight, and I think that's exactly what I'm going to bring. I'm not going to leave it in the hands of the judges like I did with Triple G. Not saying I'm going for the knockout, but if I do win, when I win, I want to make it a decisive win where no one can question that it was controversial.
Well, Triple G is still on anybody's mind that's looking at the middleweight division, and I'm certain all the fighters. You two have that opponent in common.
Yeah.
Your fight was very close, arguable by some. The second fight with Canelo is very close, arguable by some. Watching Canelo fight Triple G twice and having fought him yourself, does that help inform you on how to approach this fight for you with Canelo?
No, because every fight is different. I mean, obviously, we have study guides that we follow when we're training for guys. And I let my trainer, Andre Rozier, come in here because this is one of the greatest trainers of our generation. But you know, when the day comes, we're going to prep 100%. We're going to make sure that we're in the best shape possible when it comes to fighting Canelo. Canelo has never faced a guy with the attributes that I have, I'm sure. And I look forward to exploiting those things on fight night. I just have to be the best me. I have all the tools. I'm fast.
All the weapons,
I believe,
all the necessary components to be what he already is. And that's the #1 middleweight on the planet. This now is a venture into the realm of Hall of Fame, accolades, and that's always been the goal for Danny, to be a Hall of Famer. Titles are one thing, fame is another, but when you lay history down, and that's what we're planning to do, lay history down and get him in the Hall of Fame, we've achieved our goal.
And lastly, on the technical aspect of this fight, we saw Canelo just fight at 68. We know he puts on a lot of rehydration after the weigh-in. Is size going to be an issue in this fight? Is that something that you're intending? Do you need to be bigger to face a guy who's likely to be much bigger on the night?
I just need to be in the best shape possible. It comes before stepping inside the ring. I don't think hydrating to be able to cope with power or speed or anything he brings that night, I don't think it's necessary. I just think that I need to train extremely hard and smart and give it my all and adjust when need be.
And before I let you go, let's turn our attention to what happened here tonight, what brought you out to Las Vegas this Saturday night. Adrian Broner, Manny Pacquiao. It seemed like a decisive win by most people I talked to from my eyes. How did you see the fight? Were you excited about the outcome?
Well, I wasn't scoring it round for round. I didn't really have a good seat. So when I was looking,
You had a good seat.
I had a good seat, but the cameraman was just blocking me. I was on the floor, but I stopped judging after like the 5th round. But I thought Pacquiao won from the looks of it. I have to go back and study, but hopefully Adrian can come back stronger.
Were you surprised by Adrian's performance at all?
No, I just always want him to do just a little bit more. It's like he's a very talented guy, and we've seen just of that early on in his career when he really made a name for himself. That's the Adrian Broner that I want to see and that I know he still has. It's just a matter of figuring it out. And,
Pacquiao fought a man 10 years younger than him tonight. He seemed fast. He seemed to be on his game. He's obviously looking for next opponents, title shots. Do you feel like Pacquiao can beat the top in the 47 division? He's calling out Spence. Is that a possible win for Pacquiao by your estimation?
I think sky's the limit for Pacquiao, too. I think he kind of revived his career. Even with the win over Adrian Broner, who was a top stellar guy, I think calling out guys just like Spence is a little risky, but I think it'll be a great fight, and it'll show him, as far as gauging where he's at, whether or not he needs to retire, or if he can ride off into the sunset or continue his career. But I think it'll be an interesting fight.
And lastly, it's the beginning of 2019. You're obviously a fight fan and a fighter. Is there one fight matchup other than ones you're engaged in that you're looking forward to most this year, or would like to see that's maybe not signed?
I just would like to see Wilder and Joshua. That's it. That's the two guys that I want to see. I want to see those guys go at it. It's the biggest fight that probably could be made in boxing. So let's see it happen.
And what's your opinion about that fight after having seen Fury Wilder?
I don't know. Just heavyweight. You can't gauge. One punch can knock it all. So yeah. Thanks.
Radio Rahim with Danny Jacobs. Can't wait to see you May 4th. Hey, hold on, man. Whoa, hold on. We're not quite done.
Oh, sorry.
Can't wait to see you May 4th right here in Las Vegas against Canelo. Congratulations on signing that fight. Congratulations to the fans. Radio Rahim with Danny Jacobs.